Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Electric Bison. This morning, I'd like to talk about us working together to make America great again. When that phrase first came out, sponsored by President Trump's campaign forces, I thought, what an insult. America's already great. We need to keep America great. But over the years now, since Trump has been president, I've seen him do things that actually remind me of things that have been going on all the time. I mean, nobody's made as much money off of being in public office as he has, but a lot of things have happened, both liberal and conservative, that bother me a lot. You can decide for yourself if you know of any of those kind of things. I do remember seeing in campaigns back when I first started being in public office, how people would dress like they're loggers to get the logger vote, or talk like they're farmers to get the farmer vote, or wear a cowboy hat to get the cowboy vote when they probably couldn't get on a horse. Yeah, it's part of the problem we've had with public office. There's a basic dishonesty that goes with convincing people that you're the person that they should vote for. I never really have done that. I mean, I'm wearing this hat saying Gulf of Mexico, though I know it'll make some of you angry, but it's how I feel. I feel that when President Trump, with a stroke of a pen, insulted our neighbors by saying it's the Gulf of America, that was one thing which I would never agree to. But just check and see how many songs are in our culture about the Gulf of Mexico, all those loves and lives, and part of our cultural fabric that was insulted by that. So you know where I'm coming on it, and I don't like President Trump. But having said that, I think we need to try to work together to make America great again, because I think it has been slipping. And President Trump probably is the piece de resistance. He's the one that's really showing us where the problems are. Yeah, I remember on 9/11 in the Pentagon, I was right in front of that airplane when it stopped, fortunately before it killed me. But after that was over with, I got combat pay for having that experience. Well, I was glad to just be alive. And I thought, why am I getting paid for this extra duty or extra thing that happened to me when it's part of my job? And then I see I was really bothered by the people who were drawn on that special fund to do with 9/11 because they got killed. Well, the people in Ukraine, they're getting killed, day after day. And then Gaza, Lebanon, they're not getting a special fund. That's part of being in their country. And I felt like there was something wrong with that. The uniformed people who were killed in the Pentagon, they get a settlement that comes with being in uniform. It's a small amount of money. But I just felt that there was something wrong about that. I feel the same way. I just noticed in the paper where Senator Sheehy wants to give a hazard pay to smoke jumpers for training jumps. And I'm going, that was part of the job. I mean, I remember my training jumps, every single one of them scared the hell out of me, but that was part of the job. You don't need to be paid to do the job. Does that mean that when a highway patrolman is out on a lonely highway between Jordan and Miles City in the middle of the night and he stops a Canadian and the Canadian offers him cash and he doesn't take it, he just does his job, that officer deserves some kind of extra reward? No, that's his job. And certainly gets harder the more you go along. My own father, we have a brick for him here. It says 154, that was his badge number. 651 was the sheriff's office, and it has on it 10-8, meaning I'm home. And he would do that every night when he'd come home with the engine still hot from being on the highway. That was his job. And my mother, she was in public service. And she did a lot of really hard things at night in the hospitals of Montana and Miles City and Billings and Hamilton and Butte. That's the job. Same with teaching. I don't know how teachers can handle it. I mean, it's tough. So are they all supposed to get paid extra for doing their job? I don't think so. They got their heads up when they get into it, and they decide ahead of time, and then they learn how to do it properly, and then they do the job. So I don't think we should ask more of our people running for office than should be expected by the job. But one of the important things is that we should expect them to be able to talk to us, to be able to, in the presence of the other candidates, answer questions. Just very simply. I remember that was part of the deal when I first started running for office. But now, this last time I ran, for example, it was a major effort by the lead newspapers, public radio. They tried to get us together, but some of the candidates just did not want to be put in the position of having to be compared against their opponent. We have to have that, because your job as a person interested in making America great again, all of our job is to compare what the candidates have to say on different issues and then decide for ourselves who is the best. And then once you know what the right thing to do is, then it's your duty to do the right thing. Thanks.